video again. Let me get my fingers out of the way because my last video I muffled my microphone. All right. So what I was saying a little bit earlier, this is what I think is happening with the Euro USD. I love it when these pairs are taking these massive runs up like this because that also means they're going to take a very hard fall, like what you're seeing over here when the run is done. However, it's all about knowing when to get into that trade. As we can see on the daily, this thing is in overbought territory again. But I don't think it's done because if we zoom out, we look at the weekly time frame, we say, where is this thing heading? We look left, we see that the next major resistance point is actually right over here where those two candles stopped, which is around 1.17449. And as you would see, it's actually very close to this major trend line that I have here on the weekly time frame. See, I zone out and I drew this pretty much this trend line from that candle down here. So I think there's a lot of this convergence with this major trend line as well as this resistance line here. I think that should make for a pretty good retracement down, but we are not entirely sure yet if it's done. It could come down for a minor correction and then continue back up as well. We're not entirely sure yet. However, we'll see how strong this trend line holds. For us to know if it's going to go any higher, it has to break this trend line, has to come back down and gain support on this trend line and then move up. So we'll see how that goes. For my long-term traders, you could get into a buy order here because it still has about at least 100 to 130 pips to go. However, I don't like getting into trades when we're already in the middle of a huge candle like that, especially that weekly. If you look at this weekly candle, and it's the end of the week right now, right? So I don't like to get into trades when candles look like this because they often, as soon as you get into the trade, then they'll retrace and come all the way back down. That in itself can wipe out your kick you out of your stop loss easily, and if you don't have a stop loss on, that can wipe you out alone. So I like to wait for it to correct, for it to come back down, and then buy again when it's about to move up. But if you decide to get into a trade like that, it is on the weekly time frame, so you have to trade with a very, very small lot size because, of course, with that kind of time frame, the swings are much, much larger. Anyone who's getting into a weekly time frame trade, you should be prepared to be in that trade for at least 2 to 3 weeks, right? So that's just something to bear in mind. Um, so there you have it, guys. That's in regards to the Euro USD.